Hey guys, so today I have another video about what it's like to be sent to a mental hospital. And I don't know if this process is going to be the same for everybody, or if it's like this for everybody who gets sent to a mental hospital, but I'm just going to assume that the process is going to be like really similar to most people who have been sent to a mental hospital. But my experience with going to a mental hospital actually only goes so far, and I'll explain more about that in a minute when I actually get into telling this story about like what it's like to go to a mental hospital. So I'm not going to waste any time just sort of introducing the idea. At this point, I'm sure most people already understand what this video is about anyway, so I'm just going to go ahead and start by talking about where the story begins, and that's basically one night, this wasn't that long ago either. I was at the college. I've already talked about this in my last video. You can watch that for more detail in this part in the beginning. I'm not going to go into too much detail about that because I already went over a lot of this in my last video. But basically, just to summarize, I was at my job, at my part-time job at the college one night, and then these police officers showed up, and what happened was they questioned me because they found a gun in my room, and because I had stolen a gun from a friend of mine, and my plan was to basically kill myself with it. And so these two police officers come into my place of work. I was just doing homework. This was completely unexpected. And they questioned me, they asked me these questions, and after a while, I talk with them, and eventually they put me in handcuffs even, and they take me away in an ambulance to my local hospital. And what happens from there is basically what I want to talk about in this video, just the process of going to a mental hospital and being in a mental hospital. So I'm going to assume that this process is going to be relatively similar to most people who are sent to a mental hospital. So what they do with you first is they put you in a room, and what they did with me was they put me in the room that was like the closest to the people in charge, like where they were, like their office area. They put me in like the closest room to them as possible so they could keep a close eye on me. And while I was during the first few hours that I was there, I was the only one in this room, of course. And after a while, they keep me in this room, and eventually they took everything from me. They took my book bag, my clothes. They took away my clothes even. And I was given like a set of like hospital gowns. Well, I was given a hospital gown, a pair of like hospital pants, and some socks, and then that was it. That was all I was allowed. And they took my clothes away. They took my book bag, my jacket away, my shoes, all of that. So I didn't have like anything. And at this point, I'm like really scared. I'm like really just like terrified. Everyone's treating me like a criminal, and I feel like I feel like a criminal. Like, I was just terrified. I mean, you got to put yourself in my shoes to really understand what I'm feeling right now. Like, I just I'd been considering suicide, and then this happens. I get put in handcuffs, get sent to a hospital. I don't know what to feel at this point because I'm just like that scared. I don't know what's gonna happen. I don't know what they're gonna do with me. And so they basically just keep me there in a while. I'm in the hospital gown, and I'm just like sitting on my bed, waiting for them to do something. And there was a lot of waiting, during this process. And every once in a while, they would bring someone in. Someone would come in with like a clipboard and some papers, and they would ask me for my information, date of birth, height, weight, all that. And so every once in a while, someone like that would come in, and then the rest of the time I was just waiting. And like every hour or so, like a nurse would also come in, take my blood pressure and like put like a clip on my finger to check something, and then they'd be on their way. But the rest of the time, I was well, at the same, I was really scared during this time, but I was also at the same time, like in a strange way, I was also like really really bored because there was like nothing to do. There was a TV in there, and eventually I did turn that on. I actually don't watch a lot of TV, so I didn't have much interest in the TV at first. And of course, when I turned it on, I remembered why, I don't watch a lot of TV, because there's never anything on. So I've never even watched TV, and like I don't even remember the last time I watched TV, because these days, mostly I just watch YouTube, and all that. But anyway, that's beside the point. Eventually, I did turn on TV because I didn't have nothing else to do. In the beginning, though, like within like the first hour or so when I was there, when I realized that there was going to be a lot of waiting, I actually did ask, one of the nurses if they could like bring me back like a pencil, because I am an artist, so I've asked them, can I have like a pencil or a pen or something, maybe some paper or just something to draw with, while I'm waiting here, and they, after a while, they do bring me, some pencils, a pen, a highlighter, and all that, and like a clipboard with some paper on it. And then after like a few minutes, they actually like take that away from me again. I don't even know why. I don't even know why they gave it to me, if they were just gonna take it away again. So I don't know what that was all about. But after a while, they did actually allow me my phone back, and that was actually really nice. I mean, after a while, I actually did get bored of my phone too, just because there was a lot of waiting. And they actually kept me there overnight also. So they kept me there overnight, and I didn't sleep well that night because, and like I said, I don't know if I mentioned this already, but I probably did, but I'm just going to mention this again. There was someone at the door the entire time, just like sitting in a chair, just keeping an eye on me. They were really doing everything they could to keep an eye on me. And every once in a while, he'd ask me like, "Hey, are you doing all right in there?" And I'd say, yeah, I'm doing all right. And, I'm trying to act cool, like, but inside, I was just terrified. I was just falling apart. And so they kept me there, overnight. And what their intentions were actually to immediately just send me away to like a psychiatric ward at another hospital, like somewhere. And they wanted to do that same night that I got there. But what I was told was that they couldn't find any openings, so they were just going to keep me there overnight and then try again tomorrow. And then when the next day came, the next morning came, again, more waiting, and, of course they'd bring me food every once in a while. Sometimes they'd bring me like some crackers or something and ask me, do you want a drink? Yeah, I could bring you some soda. And of course, they didn't give me like the actual can of soda. They'd have to put it in like a cup, like a straw or something, with like a cup, that lid on it, and then like a straw, because of course they don't want you having anything that you could turn into like a weapon or something. And again, they were just doing everything that they could to like keep an eye on me. So I was really stressed the entire time. I was really scared the entire time. And the next day comes, they gave me some breakfast, and of course, the hospital food wasn't that great. But I actually didn't care at the time because I was so scared that I just wanted to eat something. I wanted to do something normal, like, and eating, it felt normal. So I welcomed, the food that they gave me, and I ate it. And it wasn't that great, but I just wanted to do something that was normal. I just wanted to do something mentally just to get out of there because I was that scared. And and then lunch comes around, and of course they gave me some more food. So they take care of you while you're there. They feed you, and all that, and they even let me take a shower while I was there. And again, every once in a while a nurse would come in, take my blood pressure, put that clip on my finger. I don't even know what that was for. And basically this entire time that they were just like looking for a psychiatric ward to take me to, because the entire time, sometimes I would ask them like, did they find, anything, did they find any openings? Because I was just so scared, just so scared and bored at the same time. It was a mixture of the two. I just wanted to get this over with. Like, I was just that scared. I just wanted to get this over with, and I didn't like the waiting. It felt like torture. It was like putting me in that room, isolating me and just having me wait the entire time. Like, it felt like torture just sitting there and just waiting. I just wanted to get it over with, because all of my anxiety was just like going through the roof at this point. And eventually, it was like the next, of course, the next day, like I stayed there overnight, and then the next afternoon, around that time, they decided to let me go. And so I was discharged from the hospital because I don't remember exactly why, but I think what they said was that there weren't any openings. Like, they couldn't find any openings, so they just decided to let me go. They had me sign some papers, and I was really relieved when they gave me my clothes back. By the way, because it was so refreshing to finally be back in my normal clothes again, because I really hated being in that hospital gown. And something else I forgot to mention was, while I was there, it was like the next day, when they gave me my phone back, like, I had my phone, I had the idea to take pictures and everything like that, so I might, put a few pictures, like, right here, like, on the screen or something, just to sort of prove that this all actually happened, and, I took a picture of myself, in the hospital gown. I took a picture of, my room, the TV, and some of these were taken at different times, and I'm sure a lot of the pictures are not very great quality, because I have an Android phone, and I don't know, Android phones are just known for taking bad pictures. But I did what I could to take some pictures, just because I knew I wanted to share this later in a video of like what the hospital was like. And that was basically my experience at the hospital. So I didn't get to go to like a psychiatric ward. I'm not entirely sure why they didn't send me there. But I know for a fact that they definitely wanted to like send me to like a psychiatric ward, like that very same night. So I was like really lucky that they didn't immediately like send me there. So maybe it was luck, or maybe it was something else. I don't really know. But that was basically my experience in a mental hospital. I feel like I could make like a lot of videos, just talking about like my experience with these sort of things. And I'm probably going to do that just so I can, get those, off of my chest and all that. But that's it basically for this video. That was basically my experience in a mental hospital. It was, I don't know if I did a good job, explaining everything. But that's pretty much what it'll be like. Well, hopefully, like, no one that watches this goes to like a mental hospital, because it definitely is not a good experience. So, but for those of you who sadly probably have been in a mental hospital, I'm gonna assume that it went something like that. Being taken by police in an ambulance to a hospital, and then being like, asked all these questions, nurses, just all, just those sort of things. I'm going to assume the process is something like that. So thank you all for watching this video, and I guess I'll just see you all in my next video, whenever that will be. I plan on making more videos sort of talking about like my experience, with like suicide, going to mental hospitals and things like that. So thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.